Today I'm going to tell you how Mitch McConnell's elementary school friends helped him form his beliefs about Medicare for all. Yes, believe it or not, this giant of the Senate here was influenced by his middle school and elementary school friends. So we're going to start off with a little experiment. When I say gun control, what is your immediate visceral response? What role do you think the government should be playing in regulating the sale and use of guns in our country? What about climate change? Homelessness, specifically here in Portland. Healthcare. Abortion and women's health. Education. Taxation. Immigration services. And LGBTQ rights. Now, take a moment and think about what you thought about these ideas when you were 10. I can tell you right there, I am not thinking about taxation or LGBTQ rights. I'm more concerned about getting another deck of Pokemon cards and whether or not I'm going to pass my spelling test. But of course, today I won't stop talking about these government issues and issues that plague our society. But how did I get from there to here? Well, it's all through a process that begins at birth. Yes, from the moment we are born, we begin to take in external stimuli, which creates simple responses that develop into language and opinions about the world that we inhabit. Right there, I can tell you right now, I am not thinking about gun control or environmental policy. But the foundations for these beliefs begin at this very stage. Political socialization is the process by which we form all of our political beliefs, influenced by the people we encounter, the experiences we have, and the media we consume. This is a lifelong process, as we are constantly evolving and changing as human beings and taking in new information about the ever-changing world around us. I like to think about political socialization using a tree model. From the beginning, we start at the root, and there's only one way to go, and that's up. We become sponges, taking in all the information around us and trying to make sense of our emerging consciousness and the world that we inhabit. What is our place in society? Your very first influence here is going to be your parents. They're going to teach you lifelong lessons and moral ethics to uphold above all else that will influence the decisions you'll make later in life. Now, of course, these aren't necessarily political. My mom never sat by my bed and praised trickle-down economics while I was spit dribbling out of my mouth, but she did give me a piggy bank and taught me the importance of saving my money and spending my money and where I wanted my money to go. And this influenced what I now believe about how our government should be spending our money. As you get older, you'll be faced with your very first decision in the path of political socialization. Who are you going to eat lunch with? Now, this is a very, very important decision, I know. A lot of your social weight comes from this decision. And so, together with your friends, you'll be faced with situations where you'll have opportunities to choose what you're going to consume, what music you're all going to listen to, what movies you're going to go see together, the jokes that you'll all laugh at, and the books that you'll bond over. While you're in school, your friends will help you form your individual identity. While you're in school, you may stick up for the kid who's being bullied after he has trouble reading out loud to the class. Or you may pick a fight with your teacher who gives A's to everyone, not just those who do their homework. You may not know this, but grade inflation has more to do with healthcare policy than you may originally have thought. And eventually, as you get older, everyone will have a phone, which will become an extension of their physical body. Now, phones are the death of modern society, right? We're all addicted, and there's no good in having social media ever, right? Well, actually, technology and social media provides us the opportunity and the way to be exposed to new ideas and concepts that we may not have access to otherwise. I'm not saying that we should all become addicted to our phones in an effort to create a more uniform global culture, but what I am saying is that technology allows us to be exposed to ideas and influences that you may not have immediate access to otherwise. This, of course, is an idealized use of technology. What we actually find is that social media and technology creates bubbles of ideology, in which the media that you're consuming continues to support the beliefs you already have, rather than engaging you in a wider array of ideas. Take a moment and think about your social media. Let's look at Facebook. I know Facebook may be hard for some of the younger individuals in the audience because it's a little bit outdated, but think about it as a whole. When you go through your Facebook feed, what type of media do you see? Are your friends sharing articles that support the issues that you're passionate about and beliefs that you are passionate about? Or are your friends sharing articles about supporting belief systems that you don't agree with? Well, they're your friends, and you chose them. So more likely than not, they're going to be supporting beliefs that you believe, and therefore sharing articles and social media posts that support these. Now think about the news. Which news channel did you watch today, if you watched the news? Which news channel did you watch during the 2016 election? I'm not asking you to think which one's fake news and which one's real news, but think about it. Are you going to watch a news channel that's going to spend its time on the air supporting beliefs that you agree with or denouncing them? Covering events that you're passionate about or ones that you really don't care about? More likely than not, you're going to want to watch a news channel that's going to make you feel comfortable and ones that support your current ideology. And this is what attends to political ideology. Political polarization begins with these bubbles of ideology. We all start at the very end of the tree, the beginning. You believe one thing, I believe the other, and we're going to consume media that takes us along our paths. You'll make friends who support your beliefs and influence you to go in one direction, and I'll do the same with my beliefs in the other. And eventually we'll end up on either side of the political spectrum, right? This is how it works. Well, more likely than not, we're going to end up somewhere closer to the middle. But because our government works in a two-party system, we'll be forced to pick one party over the other, one that you agree with the values more. You may not perfectly identify with everything that that party stands for, but you definitely don't agree with the beliefs of the other one, right? During the 2016 election, I worked for the Oregon branch of the Hillary for America campaign. I watched as these bubbles of ideology grew in intensity, drawing in more and more individuals to support the beliefs of each side. That's not to say, of course, that these ideas didn't exist before with such intensity and fever, but the media put out during the 2016 election pushed individuals to either side. You weren't going to watch one news channel because they were going to support a candidate that you didn't agree with. So you're closing yourself off to that influence. Now, with that being said, I did participate in these protests. This was taken November 9th, the day after the election. People took to the streets, fearful, frustrated about what was going to be happening. And many of them were individuals who were targeted by the rhetoric of our president-elect. These individuals were influenced by the media that was put out. There was an artificial exaggeration of the polarization of our society, which definitely influenced our election. Think about the media that you consumed during the 2016 election. Did you open your mind to new ideas and concepts that you didn't agree with? Or did you allow the media to influence you, choosing one over the other? Diversifying your situation or putting yourself into a position where you consumed media that you only agreed with? Opening your mind to new ideas or only those that you agreed with? Now, of course, with that being said, how do we break this artificial bubble of polarization? How do we get to a more cohesive society in which there aren't these divisive acts being put in place and violence on either side? Well, we have to recognize that, yes, we all are being influenced and artificially polarized. How do we create a cohesive society despite this? Education. Becoming aware that, yes, we are being influenced. Perhaps all it takes is just attending the town hall of representatives who you particularly didn't vote for, or reading an article from someone who supports a way to go forth with gun control that you don't necessarily agree with. When we recognize where our influences come from and the fact that we, yes, are being influenced, we can become powerful catalysts for progressive change and advocate for the belief systems that we agree with. Thank you.